I felt like I was really there because the part of me that knows I wasn't there is no longer accessible. It's been walled off. And the truth has noise, which was my friends in the background in the living room, that could have reminded me that I was there. But the problem is the VR was so loud and so distracting that I couldn't even pull myself out of it. That's how I see this illusion. Welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today's video, I just really want to talk about understanding the illusion. And the way in which I want to share that is bringing in concepts that we're involved with or actively a part of within the illusion that can mirror or be a reflection of what the illusion is. Because often I know for me and for my clients and some of my other friends I talk to about this, it can be hard to wrap your mind around the fact that this is not real and that there is truth, and just all of it can be rather daunting when you don't have something similar to pull from. So it's like learning a new sport that, let's say you've always played football and then you learn soccer. It's easy to transition that because you have a foundation to pull from, a foundation of understanding about this new event. That's what I'm hoping to provide here today, the illusion and how it can be similar to that of virtual reality. How many of you have tried virtual reality glasses on before and experienced that? I know for me, my first experience was a couple years ago, and we did a shark dive. And I'm definitely afraid of sharks. Still to this day is one of those things that I'm working through and understanding more, realizing they're not even real, but still haven't quite got there. We did this shark dive. And we were standing in my friend's living room. I put the goggles on. They can see everything I'm doing on the screen. And we're dropping down into the ocean. Things are creeping around. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the shark comes and I jump. Even though my mind knows that I just have glasses on, I'm in this living room, I know I'm safe. Still, even though I knew that, it still had this impact on my mind, because our subconscious doesn't know any different. So it was my conscious that knew, no, Ashley, you're in this virtual reality. But my subconscious took it as reality. But if I would have put those goggles on, and in that moment of putting those goggles on, the noise of the VR got so loud, the surround sound, that I no longer could hear truth. I could hear everybody else in the living room laughing, whatever, reminding me that, Ashley, you're not actually in that shark tank. And that piece of my conscious that was telling me, it's okay, Ashley, I know your subconscious is scary, but in fact, you're in your friend's living room. What if all that happened all at once? That went away and the music got really loud, and all of a sudden, I was really there. I felt like I was really there. See, that's the key. I felt like I was really there because the part of me that knows I wasn't there is no longer accessible. It's been walled off. And the truth has noise, which was my friends in the background in the living room, that could have reminded me that I was there. But the problem is the VR was so loud and so distracting that I couldn't even pull myself out of it. That's how I see this illusion. This illusion is like we put the VR glasses on, and maybe at first we kind of knew, but as time has gone on and more of that noise has gotten louder and louder, we've gotten so far away from truth that we have completely forgotten that this is just an illusion. This is just a dream. We just have some VR glasses on. And I'm not saying we have VR glasses on. Again, this is just a relation to something we're familiar with. And the reality is, what they're creating with the metaverse could be very similar to that. What if, in fact, in the metaverse, it gets to the point where you don't even remember that this is where you're at, that you're in your living room and you're experiencing this holographic experience? I believe it's very similar to the VR. It is our goal to clear away the shame and guilt, stop listening to the ego and believing the ego belief system, which we could correlate as the VR's surround sound, or not even that, as the storyline of what's being played in the VR, and instead quiet that so that that background noise that's in the living room, our friends laughing, our friends chatting, whatever it may be, we can start to hear, which I believe is truth and the Holy Spirit and Jesus and God. And we can find our way back to remove that VR headset and be home. But while we have the VR headset on, we can still access the understanding of the living room and the understanding that this is all just an illusion and doesn't matter the weight in which we have placed on it. So similar to dreaming, dreaming in this illusion. Dreaming is another representation that we experience, in which is what we are doing. And I believe the ego belief system has placed the act of dreaming in here to help us believe even stronger that in fact this illusion is real when it's not. Dreaming is very similar to the headset. I've talked about dreaming before because there's such thing as lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is the act of being aware in your dream that you are dreaming and kind of operating it how you want to. And when I say dreaming, I mean dreaming because I believe we're dreaming right now. But when you're dreaming, when you first start to fall asleep, you can be in the state where you are actively dreaming, but you're still aware of, let's say your friends have music playing in the background or whatever. But the deeper you get into that sleep, the further and further away you get from that noise and it no longer hears it. Sometimes though, if you've ever experienced where a sound like an alarm is going off and somehow it plays into your dream and you don't realize it's outside and instead you think it's within. One example is one time that happened to me and I thought I was on a game show and the alarm was actually like the buzzers in the game show and we couldn't figure out how to get the buzzers to stop in the game show when in fact it was outside of the dream. How often do you experience things where you're like, this doesn't quite match up within this illusion I'm in. Is this in here or is this out here? Where am I hearing it? VR and dreams are two really great places to go to help you wrap your head around some of the concepts and to understand in a relatable aspect. Are they exact? No. By no means, but they are good, I believe, examples of with similarities to what we are actually experiencing within. I hope this helps you to wrap your mind around a little more about the illusion and how we operate within and how we've actually experienced things in our lives that are very, very simple. And for me, though it's not about intellectualizing these things, understanding them at the intellectual level, or at least having a piece, makes it more available for me to fully receive it. If that's the case for you, again, I hope this video was helpful on that journey for you. I would love to have more discussion. Is there other examples in the actual illusion that you can think of that help you to relate what we're experiencing? And have there been ones that have helped you to understand better? Are there other ones that people have shared with you? Please share. As always, until next time, remember you are worth it.